In many countries today, people often say that different age groups do not understand each other. Older people complain that the young move too fast, change too much, and try to live in new ways. Younger people feel that older generations do not listen, do not accept new ideas, and still follow rules from another time. Sometimes it looks like these groups live in the same world, but in completely different realities. Why does this happen? Why can age create such a big distance between people? To understand this problem, we need to look at what we call generations. A generation is a group of people born around the same years. They grow up with the same music, the same technology, the same fears, and the same hopes. These shared experiences shape their thinking. They influence how people work, how they talk, and how they see the future. Each generation has its own story, and sometimes these stories do not match. The oldest large group today is the baby boomers. They were born after a hard war, in a time when families wanted safety and peace. Boomers grew up with strict rules and simple routines. They learned to work hard, save money, and respect authority. Many of them stayed in one job for most of their life. For boomers, stability means success. But younger people sometimes ask, can stability survive in a world that changes every year? After them comes Generation X. They grew up during a time of new ideas and big changes. Their world brought new music styles, new political views, and early computers. Many Gen X children spent a lot of time alone, so they became independent and practical. They like to make their own decisions and avoid too much control. They understand both tradition and modern life, but sometimes they feel caught between them. Then we see the Millennials, born between the early 1980s and the mid-1990s. Millennials had a childhood full of contrasts. They remember life without the internet, but they also grew up with digital technology. They used old cassette players, but later moved to smartphones and social media. Because of this, they understand both slow and fast worlds. Millennials often look for meaning and emotional balance. They want their work to have value. But the fast, competitive modern world brings them stress and pressure. Some people say millennials are too sensitive. Others say they are simply trying to survive in a time that demands too much from them. The youngest major group today is Generation Z. These people were born in a fully digital age. The internet, apps, and online videos are a normal part of their life. They learn quickly, express themselves openly, and are not afraid of change. They care about personal freedom, emotions, and mental health. But living in a constant flow of information can also make life confusing and stressful. All these generations meet every day, in schools, at work, on the street, and online. They live together, but each sees the world in a different way. Older people bring experience and patience. Middle generations bring balance and independence. Younger people bring creativity and new energy. Together they form one society, but the question remains. Why do these groups understand life so differently, and what truly shapes the way we think? Millennials are a special group. They were born between the early 1980s and the mid-1990s. Some people call them Generation Y. But what makes them different? Why do other groups sometimes find them strange? And why do millennials also feel confused about the world? To understand them, we must look at the time they grew up in. Millennials were children when the world started to change very fast. New technology appeared everywhere. Computers became common. Mobile phones became small and easy to use. And later, the internet connected everyone. For many millennials, this was exciting. They learned new things quickly. They played early video games, used social media for the first time, and watched the world open through digital screens. They felt that everything was possible. But at the same time, life was not simple. Millennials saw many problems around them. The economy went up and down. New jobs appeared, but many old jobs disappeared. People told millennials, "Study hard and you will get a good future." But when they grew up, it was not always true. So who are they really? Are they dreamers? Are they fighters? Or are they something in between? Many millennials love freedom. They want to choose their own path. They do not like strict rules. They want work that feels meaningful, not just a job. They want to travel, learn, and change the world. But they also feel pressure. They want to succeed, but they worry about money, housing, and stability. Sometimes older groups say, millennials are lazy. They do not want to work. But is this true? Or do millennials simply want a different kind of life? You can see the answer when you look closer. Many millennials work very hard. They study, they build small businesses, they move to new countries, they learn new skills. They do all this because they hope for a better life. But they do not want to lose themselves on the way. There is something else important. Millennials grew up during a time of choice. Too many choices, maybe. What to study? Where to live? Which job to take? Which lifestyle to follow? Sometimes these choices feel heavy. Sometimes they feel like a puzzle with missing pieces. But one thing is clear, millennials are not afraid to search. They want to understand the world and themselves. And every time they move forward, they bring new ideas and new energy with them. Still, one big question remains. Why do millennials often feel in the middle, between the old world and the new one? And how does this shape the way they think, live, and dream? Millennials often feel like they are standing between two different worlds. One world is old, slow, and familiar. The other world is fast, digital, and always changing. Sometimes they look left, sometimes right, and they do not always know where to go. But why does this happen? To understand it, we must see how their daily life is built. Millennials grew up with books, but also with the internet. They remember life before smartphones, but now they use smartphones every day. They wrote letters in school, but later they sent messages online. They lived in two realities, and both shaped who they are. Because of this, many millennials have mixed feelings. They like technology, but they also miss quiet moments. They enjoy social media, but they sometimes feel lonely there. They want freedom, but they also want safety. These opposite feelings create a special kind of tension inside them. Another important side of their world is work. Their parents often had one job for many years. But millennials face a different life. They change jobs more often. They learn new skills again and again. Some of them work online, far from any office. This gives them freedom, but also uncertainty. Sometimes they ask, "Am I doing enough? Will my future be safe? Where is my place in this fast world?" These questions follow many millennials, even when things look fine from the outside. Money also plays a part. Many millennials grew up during financial crises. They learned that life can change quickly. They learned to save, to plan, and to worry a little more than they want to. Some feel guilty when they cannot earn enough. Some feel pressure when they see others succeed faster. But one of the strongest feelings in this generation is the desire for meaning. Millennials do not want to live just for a salary. They want to feel that what they do matters. They want to help, to create, to understand the world. Sometimes this pushes them forward. Sometimes it makes life harder, because meaning is not easy to find. Their relationships are also different. Millennials do not always hurry to marry or start families. They want to understand themselves first. They want to build a life they believe in. For some people from older generations, this looks strange. But for millennials, it feels natural. Still, inside this mix of choices and questions, something important shines. Millennials are strong thinkers. They are not afraid to ask why. They want to know the truth. They want to find balance between the old ways and the new ones. But the biggest question is still ahead. What qualities make millennials who they truly are? What makes them unique, not just confused or pressured, but special in their own way? What kind of people are millennials, and what qualities define them? Every generation has good and bad sides. Millennials are no different. Their character was shaped by fast changes, big hopes, and many challenges. Because of this, they developed qualities that help them, and qualities that sometimes make life harder. Good qualities. Many millennials are very open-minded. They like to listen to new ideas and explore different cultures. They believe that every person has value. This makes them kind and understanding in conversations. They are also creative. They find unusual solutions, create new projects, and enjoy learning new things. When something does not work, they try another way. They are not afraid to experiment. Another strong quality is adaptability. Life changes fast, and millennials can change with it. They learn new jobs, move to new places, and use new tools without fear. They are flexible, which helps them survive in a fast world. Millennials are also caring. They think about mental health, about protecting nature, about helping people. They want a world where everyone feels safe and respected. They try to be gentle with others, even when life is difficult. Weak qualities. But millennials also struggle with some negative traits. Many of them feel anxiety. They worry about the future, money, work, and success. This worry sometimes follows them even when things are going well. They can also be indecisive. With so many choices around, it becomes hard to pick one. A job, a city, a relationship, everything feels important, and the fear of choosing wrong can slow them down. Another challenge is impatience. Millennials grew up with fast technology. They click, swipe, and tap, and things happen instantly. But real life is slower. Waiting can feel stressful for them. Some millennials also have a strong fear of failure. They compare themselves to others online. They see perfect pictures, perfect jobs, perfect stories. This makes them think they are not good enough, even when they are doing well. And sometimes millennials can be too sensitive. They feel emotions deeply, and negative comments or small problems can hurt them more than they expect. A generation searching for balance. So what does all this mean? Millennials are a mix of strong and soft parts. They are curious but confused. Brave but sometimes scared. Kind but sometimes tired. They want freedom, but they also want stability. They want success, but they also want meaning. They stand with one foot in the past and one in the future. They try to connect patience with speed, dreams with reality, hope with pressure. And even with all their struggles, millennials continue to move forward. They try to work, to grow, to understand themselves. They try to make the world a kinder, safer, more open place. They try to build a life that feels true. In the end, millennials are not perfect, but no generation is. Their story is full of questions, mistakes, ideas, and dreams. And maybe that is exactly what makes them special. If you are a millennial and you often doubt yourself, remember one important thing. Your strength grows slowly, step by step. You don't need to change everything at once. You only need to start with small, simple actions. Here are a few ideas that can help you become stronger inside. 1. Stop comparing yourself to others. What you see online is not real life. People show only the best moments. Your story is different, and that is okay. Focus on your path, not someone else's. 2. Choose one small goal and finish it. Strength comes from success, even small success. Clean your room, learn a new skill, or finish a small project. When you complete something, your confidence grows a little more. 3. Talk kindly to yourself. Many millennials are too hard on themselves. Try to speak to yourself like you would speak to a friend. Say, I can try again, I'm learning, I'm doing my best. 4. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Mistakes do not mean you are weak. They mean you are trying. Every strong person failed many times. The difference is, they didn't stop. 5. Take breaks and rest. Being strong does not mean working non-stop. Strength also means knowing when to pause. A clear mind helps you make better choices. 6. Build real connections. Talk to people you trust. Share your thoughts. Ask for help when you need it. You don't have to carry everything alone. 7. Remember what you have already survived. Millennials live through fast changes, crises, and pressure. You are stronger than you think. Look back and see how far you have come. And the most important advice. Believe that your future is not fixed. It can change, grow, and improve, just like you. Even one small brave step today can make you stronger tomorrow.
Did you like the story? Click like, subscribe to the channel, and write a comment with your ideas for new stories. Thank you for watching and practicing English with me. See you in the next video.